Galen Gering's a near-death experience in Tunisia in a gripping episode of the podcast State of Mind, hosted by General Hospital star Maurice Bernard. Gering opened up about a terrifying incident that unfolded in a remote Tunisian village when he was just 18 years old. What started as an exciting modeling gig abroad spiraled into a chaotic, heart-pounding brush with death, leaving Gering to navigate a hostile crowd, anti-American sentiment, and a desperate escape that would haunt him for years to come. For fans of Days of Our Lives, Galen Gering is a household name, bringing charm and intensity to his role as Rafe Hernandez. But long before he graced the screens of daytime television, Gering faced a life-threatening ordeal that could have ended his story before it began. A young dreamer's adventure takes a dark turn in the late 1980s. Galen Gering was a fresh-faced high school graduate from Los Angeles, brimming with ambition and eager to make his mark in the world. His striking looks and natural charisma landed him a coveted opportunity. A modeling job for an Italian company, set to take place in the exotic landscapes of Tunisia. For a young man barely out of his teens, the gig was a dream come true, a chance to travel, see the world, and build a career in the glamorous world of fashion. I was thrilled, Gering recalled during the podcast, his voice tinged with the bittersweet wisdom of hindsight. I mean, who gets to go to Tunisia right after high school? I felt like I was on top of the world. But the world, as Gering would soon learn, could be a far more dangerous place than he had imagined. Tunisia, a North African nation bordering Libya, was a land of stunning beauty and rich culture, but it was also a region fraught with political tensions. Unbeknownst to the young model, his arrival coincided with a period of heightened anti-American sentiment, sparked by a U.S. military operation that had recently killed the son of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. The ripples of this event had spread across the border, fueling resentment in parts of Tunisia. For an 18-year-old from California, these geopolitical complexities were far from his mind as he stepped off the plane, ready to pose for the cameras. A simple question ignites chaos. The trouble began in a small, dusty village where the modeling shoot was taking place. Surrounded by the crew and immersed in the whirlwind of the production, Gering was approached by a local man who seemed curious about the young foreigner. "Where are you from?" the man asked, his tone neutral but his eyes sharp. Without hesitation, Gering replied, "Los Angeles." When the man pressed him again, perhaps sensing something in his accent or demeanor, Gering confirmed, "Yeah, I'm from America." What happened next was like a match igniting a powder keg. The man's face contorted with rage, and he began shouting, "America! We hate! We kill Americans!" His voice carried across the village, drawing the attention of others nearby. Within moments, a crowd began to gather, their murmurs growing into a cacophony of anger. Pots and pans clanged as people banged them together, their chants of "kill, kill" echoing through the air. Gering, standing frozen in the center of the chaos, felt his heart pound in his chest. "I was 18 years old, and I had no idea what was happening," he told Bernard. "One minute, I'm posing for a shoot, and the next, I'm surrounded by this mob, screaming for my blood." The scene was something out of a nightmare. The crowd pressed closer, their faces twisted with fury, their voices a deafening roar. Gering's mind raced as he tried to make sense of the situation. He had heard stories of travelers being kidnapped, drugged, or sold into slavery. Urban legends that suddenly felt all too real. "I thought, this is it," he confessed. "This is how it happens. This is how my life ends, in some village halfway across the world, before I've even had a chance to live it." A stranger's act of mercy. As the mob closed in, a figure emerged from the chaos, a short, heavy-set man with a frantic expression. Come here," he urged, grabbing Gering's arm and pulling him away from the crowd. Dazed and terrified, Gering followed, his instinct screaming at him to trust this stranger, even as doubts gnawed at his mind. Was this man leading him to safety, or into a trap? I didn't know what to think, Gering said. But I didn't have a choice. The crowd was getting closer, and I could feel the hostility, like a hornet's nest ready to explode. The man led Gering to a nearby building, shoving him inside and instructing him to lie down. Before Gering could protest, the stranger began piling heavy, musty rugs over him, layer after layer, until he was completely concealed. The weight of the rugs pressed against him, the air growing thick and stifling. I was under there for what felt like forever, Gering recounted. Maybe it was only 15 minutes, but it was the longest 15 minutes of my life. I could hear the crowd outside, their voices muffled but still angry. I didn't know if they were coming for me, or if I'd ever get out. In that suffocating darkness, Gering's thoughts turned to his family, his friends, and the life he had left behind in Los Angeles. He thought of his parents, who had supported his dreams of modeling, and how devastated they would be if he never came home. He thought of the future he had envisioned, a career, a family, a life full of possibilities, and how it might all be snatched away in an instant. You start to realize how fragile everything is, he told Bernard, his voice heavy with emotion. One wrong move, one wrong word, and it's over. A daring escape and a bitter betrayal. Finally, the stranger returned, pulling the rugs off Gering and helping him to his feet. Come, come, he whispered urgently, leading Gering through a back passage and away from the village. The crew, meanwhile, had begun packing up their equipment in a frantic bid to leave the area. But to Gering's shock and dismay, they turned their backs on him, refusing to offer support or protection. They told me they wouldn't work with me again, Gering said, still incredulous at the memory. They said, this is no good, you're going to get in trouble for this. Like it was my fault that I almost got killed. The betrayal stung almost as much as the fear. Gering had trusted the crew to have his back, but in the face of danger, they had abandoned him, leaving him to fend for himself in a foreign land. With the help of the mysterious stranger, Gering and the crew eventually made their way to a remote location, far from the village and its hostile inhabitants. The ordeal was over, but the scars, emotional and psychological, would linger for years. Reflecting on a life-changing moment as Gering shared his story with Bernard, the General Hospital star listened in rapt silence, clearly moved by the intensity of the tale. For Gering, recounting the experience was both cathartic and sobering. It's one of those things that changes you, he admitted. You realize how quickly things can go wrong, and how much you take for granted. I was just a kid, naive and excited about the world. That day, I grew up fast. The incident also gave Gering a deeper appreciation for the fragility of life and the importance of empathy. I don't judge people by their first impressions anymore, he said, tying the story back to his earlier conversation with Bernard. You never know what someone's been through, or what they're carrying with them. That day in Tunisia, I learned that the hard way. For fans of Days of Our Lives, Gering's story is a stark reminder that the actors who bring their favorite characters to life are real people with real struggles and triumphs. Rafe Hernandez may be a fearless hero on screen, but Galen Gering's real-life courage in the face of danger is just as inspiring. His narrow escape from a violent mob in Tunisia is a testament to his resilience and a powerful reminder of the unpredictable nature of the world. A story that resonates. As the podcast episode drew to a close, Bernard thanked Gering for sharing such a personal and harrowing story. For listeners, the tale was a gripping departure from the usual light-hearted banter of State of Mind, offering a glimpse into the life of a man who has faced fear and emerged stronger for it. At over 5,000 characters, this expanded account of Gering's ordeal captures the drama, emotion, and humanity of his experience, crafted with clarity and care for an audience of older adults who may relate to the themes of survival, reflection, and gratitude. What do you think of Galen Gering's terrifying experience? Have you ever faced a moment that made you realize how precious life is? Share your thoughts, and stay tuned for more updates on your favorite Days of Our Lives stars. Megan Hathaway's return, will she still target Beau Brady? In the world of Days of Our Lives, few storylines have captivated fans as much as the twisted obsession of Megan Hathaway with Beau Brady. Now, as Beau has finally awakened from his long coma, questions loom large. What will Megan do now? Will she still have designs on Beau, or has the course of events shifted her focus? With the storm of emotions and history that surrounds their relationship, it's no wonder that fans of the show are eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this dangerous saga. The return of Beau Brady, a beacon of hope and tragedy. Beau Brady's return to Salem is nothing short of miraculous. After being trapped in a coma for years and enduring experiments that almost cost him his life, Beau's awakening marks a new chapter for the Brady family. However, the joy of his return is bittersweet. As Beau regains consciousness and rejoins his family, the reality of the sacrifices made to save him begins to set in. Among the most poignant moments in Beau's return is the heartbreaking news that his dear friend and father figure, John Black, has passed away. John's death, a result of the Versix drug that was used to save Beau's life, sends shockwaves through the entire town. It's a sacrifice that hits Beau hard, and the emotional weight of the loss is something he will have to carry with him. As much as Beau is grateful for his second chance at life, the reality of John's death is something that will weigh heavily on him for some time to come. Despite the heartbreak, Beau is no stranger to sacrifice. After all, he knows full well that he would have done the same for John had the roles been reversed. The bond between these two men runs deep, and John's death will leave a permanent hole in Beau's heart. But while Beau mourns his friend, the looming presence of Megan Hathaway threatens to overshadow everything. Megan Hathaway, a woman haunted by the past. Megan Hathaway's obsession with Beau has been a central storyline for years. Her love for him was never healthy, and as time went on, it became twisted and dangerous. Megan has a long history of manipulation, and she would stop at nothing to make Beau her own. Even after years of separation and after Beau's memory was wiped clean by the experiments he underwent, Megan never gave up on the idea that one day, Beau would be hers. But now, with Beau awake and back in Salem, the question arises, what is Megan's next move? Megan's life has been shaped by a series of mistakes and emotional scars. Her obsession with Beau is a driving force that has led her down a dark path. The events that led to Beau's coma, including her involvement in the experiments and her manipulation of Beau's mind, are part of a long and painful history. And now, with Beau's return, we must ask, has Megan learned anything from the years that have passed? Is her obsession with Beau still as intense as it once was, or has the passage of time changed her plans? There are signs that Megan is not doing well. Her troubled mind, haunted by the past, has taken a toll on her. The electrocution she suffered in the hot tub years ago left her with lasting physical and emotional scars. She is clearly still reeling from the consequences of her actions. Megan's grip on reality has always been tenuous, and with the return of Beau, it seems she is on the verge of a breakdown. The idea that she might still target Beau, after all these years, seems almost inevitable given the obsessive nature of her feelings. Beau's family and the shadow of Megan. As Beau settles back into his life with hope and his children, the Brady family is faced with new challenges. While Beau is grateful to be back, his journey is just beginning. His reunion with Hope is bittersweet, as they both understand that the road ahead will not be easy. Beau has been through so much, and so has Hope. Together, they must navigate their emotional scars, as well as the difficult news of John's death. Beau's return is not just about reuniting with his loved ones. He is also forced to face the reality that everything he has been through, from his time in the cryogenic chamber to the experiments that nearly took his life, is all part of a larger story. And at the heart of that story is Megan. Beau knows that if it weren't for her interference in his life, he wouldn't have ended up in this situation. If Megan hadn't forced him into those experiments, Beau might have never been lost to his family for all those years. In some twisted way, Beau's return to Salem is made possible by Megan. If she hadn't pushed him to the brink of death, the events that led to his miraculous return would never have happened. This paradox is one that Beau will have to wrestle with as he moves forward. It's a reality he can't escape. And while he may want to move forward and leave the past behind, the shadow of Megan's actions will always hang over him. The possibility of Megan's revenge. The question on everyone's mind is, will Megan continue to target Beau now that he's awake? Given her past actions and her obsession with him, it seems likely that she will not let go of her fixation so easily. Megan is a woman who does not take rejection lightly, and the idea that Beau is with hope, living a life she feels she should have had, may be more than she can bear. Megan's obsession with Beau has been the driving force behind much of the turmoil in Salem over the years. She is a woman who will stop at nothing to get what she wants, and the return of Beau to Salem may ignite old flames of desire and revenge. The question is not whether Megan will act, but when and how she will make her move. Will she try to reclaim Beau, or will her plans take a darker turn, targeting hope and anyone who stands in her way? Beau's struggle, between the past and the future for Beau, the struggle is not just external, but internal. He must reconcile the man he was with the man he is now. His return to Salem is both a blessing and a curse. While he is reunited with his family, he is also haunted by the memories of what Megan did to him. He knows that no matter how hard he tries to move forward, the past will always be there, lurking in the shadows. Ultimately, Beau's journey is about more than just escaping Megan's grasp. It's about finding peace within himself, accepting the sacrifices made for him, and learning how to live a life free from the manipulations of the past. Whether he can do this remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. Beau's return to Salem has only just begun, and the storm that Megan brings with her is far from over. As Beau and Hope face the challenges ahead, they must remember that some battles are not just fought on the outside, they are fought within. And in the case of Beau and Megan, the fight is far from over.